Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, hey, welcome to a brand new season
Brand new.
of the Bad Apples podcast.
We're still here.
We are. It's still Garrett. It's still Cody.
Yeah.
But for the next 17 weeks, 17 weeks.
Yeah.
We're going to be bringing you content, fresh coffee, fresh ideas, fresh insights about what God is doing in our lives, what he might be doing in your life too.
Yeah.
We're excited that you're here with us. And Cody, real quick, tell the people, if they're brand new to the Bad Apples podcast, what's our main, what are we about?
Here's what we're about. We know that in life, we sometimes choose to make some bad decisions. But the beauty of it is that God still loves us. He's still here for us. And he chooses to redeem us.
That's right. Yep. And we talk about life, love, and all the above. And it's going to be really great. We're going to have some fun while we do it. I love that part. That's my favorite part of our typical intro. So anyway.
I think this is my favorite part.
What? The coffee?
You guys can't see this, but the coffee is the cup is up to the mic.
That is right.
And it's steaming and it's hot.
Yep.
And it's very cold outside, which is my jam.
Oh, it is. There's snow on the ground.
Oh, there's a lot of snow on the ground.
Yep.
It's beautiful. Oh, my gosh.
It really is. And it's been hanging around.
Yeah, it's going to hang around for a little bit. I'm going to take a sip right here.
It's pretty good.
Oh.
Yeah, this is the stuff from Ron and Shar Morgan that we got for Christmas. We
Yes,
opened
it
this
is.
Christmas gift on the last episode.
Yeah.
And, man, it's strong coffee.
It is. Rough Rider Coffee.
From Eden, Utah.
Yeah, Eden, Utah. Yeah.
Just think about how nice Eden, Utah has to be. If you're going to be so bold as to name your town Eden,
Yeah, it better be good.
it better be nice. It better
Yeah.
be real nice.
It better be real nice. Real nice.
You know, Utah, the mountains and all kinds of other wonderful things.
Yeah,
so,
man. Yeah. My cousin lived in Salt Lake City for a while. He loved it.
Yeah.
He really enjoyed it.
Now, when I made this the other day in my AeroPress, I got a lot of chicory taste.
Okay.
I'm not getting that now.
No, I'm not getting any chicory. I have tried a chicory coffee before. Now, I don't know what chicory is.
I don't know either.
You know, it sounds like
I think it's like Cafe Du Monde sort of coffee. I think that they add chicory to there.
They do. That's the one I tried. That's the exact one I tried, and I didn't love that one, but I love this.
Yeah, the Cafe Du Monde, I've only ever had it when people add way too much coffee to the mix.
This is a different. It's different.
It's dark roast Ethiopian.
Yeah.
I've never had a dark roast Ethiopian.
You have.
I
On
have?
the last episode of the podcast.
Oh, we did? It was dark roast Ethiopian?
From West Virginia.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Mountain. I can't remember what it was called now. Mountain Roasters.
Okay.
Yeah. But this is really good.
Yeah.
And I might have to sneak over to the website and see about this brand.
There we go.
Getting some more bags of this. Thank you, Ron and Shar, always coming through.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Hey, a good friend of the podcast would really love this coffee. Troy Piper.
Hey, Troy Piper.
What up, Troy?
Yeah. He's been showing us some love on social media.
Yeah, man.
So thanks for that, Troy.
Appreciate that, Troy. You would love this coffee, buddy.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I think anybody would like this coffee. You know. Now you may have to adjust your proportions a little bit. Cody likes his coffee like he likes his co-hosts on the podcast, strong and full bodied.
Wasn't sure where you were going with that one. there was a lot of avenues you could have went with that one.
Could have gone hot, steamy. Anyway, you're probably getting uncomfortable as you listen to me talk about this.
Yeah.
So
who, me?
No, them.
No, I'm not.
No, I know you're not. I'm worried about our listeners. And they're like, oh, well, 17 weeks of this. Nope, I'm out.
Yeah, we just dropped 3 listeners right there.
There it is. Well, anyway, we love coffee.
Yeah, we do.
If you're new to the show, welcome. We try to talk about coffee every week. There are some weeks where if we record really late, I mean, we're both in our early to mid 30s, and so
I'm getting ready to cross over, man.
I know that. But with that, we don't drink caffeine after a certain period of time because then we just don't sleep.
That's truth.
You know, in our late night episode recordings, they always wind me up anyway. Like
me too.
I have a hard time coming back down from that. But
yeah, I always do.
Yeah. So
because it's so fun.
Yeah, it is. You know? It really is. And we get to talking about stuff, and then usually there's a show after the show that's in your kitchen. We sit and we talk about, you know, everything else.
That's true.
And so, yeah, anyway. But this year, this season, we've got some things to look forward to.
We do.
And we're going to share with you a little bit about the direction we're going and why we're going that direction as far as what we're going to talk about, who we're going to have on the show, some of these different things. Now, we haven't asked any of these guests, but we do plan to have some guests on the show to help us, you know, really unpack some of these topics and everything else. But before we do that, though, 2025,
it's here.
It's here.
Yeah.
How's it been going so far? We're like a whopping 11 days in.
Well, it's been, I mean, for me?
Yeah.
Okay, for me, it's been pretty decent. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
You know, been a crazy start to the year for a lot of other people.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing. This is what you guys need to know about me. I know I've probably said this before. I absolutely, 100%, unequivocally love snow.
Yeah.
I love it more when I get a snow day from work.
Oh, yeah.
However, have not gotten a snow day from work.
That's kind of surprising. I'm really surprised they had school yesterday.
Yeah, no one in Springfield, no one in Rochester. Well, they always look for Chatham as well. Chatham didn't call off. Springfield didn't call off, so Rochester didn't call off.
Yeah.
It was bad. We had some buses in the ditch. We had some people stuck. There was a wreck, I think. So, you know, it could have definitely been a snow day.
Could have been.
So, anyway, I say that to say this. First weekend of January, first weekend of 2025, got a big snowstorm. I think it was like 8 to 10 inches.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. I was living my best life.
Yeah, it's beautiful out there.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely beautiful.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So everything's been kind of quiet with that. But yeah, man, it's been a good start. How about you?
Yeah. So far it's been pretty decent. I mean, it feels a lot like 2024. There's not been a big changeover. Now, I did something new this year.
Okay.
I don't have any New Year's resolutions. Not a one. Not a single one. And I'm usually like a new year, new you.
Okay.
Let's adopt some sort of like diet plan or a, you know, we're going to exercise more or whatever. And then this year I was like, you know what?
No master class for you this year?
No. Well, that was a gift. The master class was a gift.
Yeah.
I do have a master class that I need to be digging into. It's like an art of preaching sort of thing. Ooh. And so, nice. No, it's not art of preaching is what Carey Nieuwhof calls his. It's not that one. It's one through Passion. I think it's Speak. Like Speak, maybe Speak Studio or something.
Okay.
But it's a bunch of pre-recorded master classes on how to preach better. And so,
man,
I'm excited about it.
I don't feel like you need that.
Well, I'm excited about it. I appreciate that, but I'm really excited to just refine some things and figure out, hey, this would be a good idea. Or
yeah, man, we're never there.
Right,
we're never there, and that's a beautiful thing to know is that we can continually grow.
Yeah, they had like a Christmas special on it, so I booked that up. And then what's nice too is I can share my login with other people who are preaching specifically at Hope students. So look out for that. You know, so because I want everybody else. If you want to get better at that, I want to resource people. So,
yeah, man, I do. I mean, I don't really preach that much, but it's far. But here's the thing:
like I just said, none of us are ever there. So if we can learn some new things,
right,
and that might even make us better here too,
for sure. Just
I don't know that we could get better here on the podcast, but. Yeah. So what are you looking forward to in 2025? I know that you have some big things on the calendar.
I do, man. You know, the big thing that I'm really looking forward to is getting married.
Oh yeah. At the end of the year, though.
At the end of the year, and November.
Saving it for like the best for last.
Yes.
And then right after that it's Christmas. So
right after that, exactly. And I told Kia, I'm like, what better way to start the holiday season? Get Halloween out of the way. Goodbye. Devil's work, you know. Just kidding.
You're ridiculous.
You know, get that out November 1st, the day everybody's putting up their Christmas trees. We're getting married.
Yeah.
And my Christmas tree is going to be up by the time I'm married. And then we go into the holiday season, a married couple. You know,
that's right.
It's going to be wild. It's going to be fun.
But now I'm worried that I put in it as November 11th. Oh no, I put it in as November 1st. We're good.
Yeah, you got
all is well. I do have to figure out when we're going to go on your bachelor party trip. Like that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that is gonna be fun. We got to save the dates. We got them physically.
Very nice.
So we're going to be sending those out. I mean, I guess soon.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, that's the big thing that I'm really excited about. Man, there's a lot going on. Like I'm finishing college this year.
Yeah.
That's
so
another
by
big
the
one.
end of 2025, you will be like ready to go as a teacher.
You ready to go as a teacher?
Student teaching done.
Student teaching done.
Whole thing.
Special education teacher. Hopefully, I will be either interviewing or gearing up to start a teaching job by January.
Yeah.
You know, I paid attention this year to job openings. There was a lot of teaching jobs open in January that they were wanting to fill in January. So it's not far-fetched to say that, I'll be able to find a teaching job and be teaching by January of 2026.
Yeah, man. I'm super excited for you. Yeah. Getting married. New job, new horizon, new career,
man. Which I don't feel like in my life I've had jobs, but I don't think I've ever had a career.
Yeah,
I think ministry definitely was a career at some point, but like after that, like I've never been able to say like, yeah, I have a career now.
Yeah.
So I'm really pumped about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, even for me, like in my work at the church, like I had to go through a mindset shift of, this is my career. This isn't just a job. And it was one of those things when I'm sure with you as well, with church work, you kind of fell into it. Mm-hmm. It's like, the door's open. You said yes. The door opened again. You said yes. Pretty soon you had a full-time job.
Yep.
And benefits. You're like, wait a minute. Did this just become like, am I professional?
Right.
And so that's kind of what happened with me as well. It's like you just do the job and do the job and do the job. And then all of a sudden you're a professional in this. And then,
man.
Now I'm trying to think career minded. It's like, wow, it's weird to think when you start something, especially at like 19, that eventually you'll retire from it when you're in your 70s. Cause pastors never retire at 65.
Right.
It's always, they might retire from full-time work in their mid 60s, but it's usually not until much closer to the end that they're actually done. But
very true.
Yeah.
Well, so what is Garrett looking forward to in 2025?
Oh man, I am looking forward to a few different things. I've got a cruise coming up at the end of February. Pretty excited about that.
Getting out of the cold for the cruise.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The food is going to be really great. I am really pumped about that cruise. It's going to be great.
Sweet.
And
Sweet.
then we also have, what else do we have going on this year? I'm excited for Austin to be done with her first year of kindergarten, and then just continue on that journey with her.
Yeah, man.
I'm sad for Logan because she's just not there yet, and she won't even start kindergarten in the fall. She's got a whole nother year preschool, and so that's a little bit tough on her. But other than that, we're planning on taking a vacation with the family this summer.
Right.
I've got a little niece or nephew that's on the way that we're excited about as well.
Yeah, that's true.
And then
I'll be an uncle again.
That's right. So we'll get to spend some time in St. Louis. I'm trying to think of other things. And this fall, there's your wedding.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, I have my cousin's wedding.
Oh yeah.
In Iowa, and so. It's like I've managed the last 4 years not to be in a wedding.
Yeah, now you're in two.
Now I'm in two back to back.
Love is in the air.
That's actually not true. I guess I did do. I've done a couple weddings in the last 4 years. So,
Mike's wedding, right?
Yeah, I had Mike's wedding. So never mind, disregard that. But I didn't have to. Like, there's travel associated with.
Yeah. And you weren't like
yours.
You weren't like in the party. You just performed the wedding.
Did the service, and and they were really happy with it, and
it was beautiful.
And there were some other hoops to jump through for that. But here's the thing with Mike and Angie, like I'm still so far deep in debt to them because they've jumped through way more hoops for me. Than I have for them. So Mike and Angie, we love you guys. You guys are great.
Friends of the podcast.
Yep.
You guys know Mike. Mike's been on a lot.
That's right. Probably going to be back on in this season.
I'm sure.
I'm
sure.
Unless he tells us no, which
I'm sure he won't, because
That's right.
giving us a hard time about him not being on
Exactly. Every episode. But Mike, we love you.
We do love you, Mike.
Other than that, I am excited to continue to keep plugging away with the Download Youth Ministry thing. That's really cool.
Yeah, man.
It's really awesome. The group of seniors that are graduating this year, when I came to Hope, they were in like 7th grade.
Wow.
So that's a pretty cool thing to see. These middle school kids that are now going to be college freshmen in the fall of 2025, which is crazy to me.
That is crazy.
And then in the fall of 2025, I'll be starting the senior year with the kids that were in 6th grade when I came to Hope. And I've never taken a group from 6th grade to 12th grade. In the 14 years of youth ministry, never walked with students from 6th grade all the way through to graduation at the same church while working for that church. I mean, I've kept up with kids that were in 6th grade that graduated. But
playing the long game.
Yeah, it's
like
pretty
it.
cool. It's
a
a cool experience, and love doing that. And
that is cool to see.
I'm trying to think of anything else that's like coming up in 2025 that I'm just really like that's new and big. One of our bucket list things for the year is we want to redo both bathrooms.
Ooh,
so
okay.
And the bathrooms aren't very big, so that shouldn't be a big problem.
Right.
I'm a little bit worried about having to replace the shower and tub. That's the expensive thing.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
The floors, it's not a big area, so doing the floors is not a big deal. Toilets are cheap, vanities are cheap.
Yeah,
all that business pretty cheap.
Toilets are cheap,
but I don't know what they did, or I know what they didn't do. They didn't like put any kind of sealant around the base of the tub, and so I don't know if you know this about having little kids. But they splash water out of the tub like it's their job. And so now our subfloor is like a little bit bubbled underneath the linoleum or whatever that is right next to the tub. And so I'm a little bit worried that once I start taking the flooring out, I'm going to see that, we're going to really be in it. But
oh boy,
that's okay. That's part of owning a home.
Needs done anyway.
That's right.
So it's going to be found eventually.
Yeah, so I feel like my year is pretty low key compared to your year. I mean, not everybody gets married and
that's true.
Graduates with a new career on the horizon.
Yeah, man, especially at 35 or 36 at the time. I'll be 36 when I get a new career.
Hey, man,
which is so psycho, but whatever.
It's gonna be great. Like, I really am excited for you.
Yeah, and it's very great about the wedding. I'm just, there's a lot of times where I'm like, what am I doing? In college at 35, never dreamed I would be that.
Well, but what else would you do though?
Yeah, there's not a number on it. Like, honestly, if I wouldn't do this, I'd probably go something like CWLP and just make $30 an hour for doing something I don't love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really love this job. I really found purpose in this job. And I feel like that was something that really was hard for me, was finding purpose in a 9-to-5, finding purpose in a marketplace job, or a secular job. You know what I mean? And for me to be able to find God in that and find that there's a design for people to to work, and that's our purpose is to work. So that was a really tough road for me to go down, but I found it, and I also found that ministry. And we've talked about this before. Ministry does not and is not reserved for the stage.
Sure.
And that was something that was beautiful for me, just being able to be, in my workplace and know that I have a purpose and know that, this is needed. This is something that's needed. So I stuck with it.
Yeah. Are you guys going to go on a honeymoon?
Yeah. I think we're going to do. So what we're going to
do right away, or wait?
Probably a small trip.
Okay.
Probably a small one for a few days, and then we'll do probably a big one the next summer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. You're not going to take it on during Christmas break?
I don't know.
Thanksgiving break in there. Like you got some breaks in there.
We do have some time. We've thought about,
as much as we love having you guys at our house for Thanksgiving. If you were going on a honeymoon vacation, we would excuse your absence.
Oh, of course.
Only for that reason.
I'm sure. But I think the full circle moment of coming to your house, married,
Yeah.
coming to your parents' house married on Thanksgiving would be too good to pass up.
I mean, we're also talking about like you getting to go on a honeymoon.
I mean, yeah.
Like, so maybe it's not. It would, yeah, I agree. It'd be really cool. It'd be a really cool full circle moment. Not worth skipping a honeymoon,
No.
but definitely a really cool full circle
Not
moment.
worth skipping the honeymoon.
No.
I don't know what we're going to do yet. We've thrown out the idea of going up north to like Montana, Wyoming, and like seeing that area,
Yeah.
kind of taking a road trip vibe, seeing Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, you
Just
guys are
all
into
up
that
in
sort
there.
of thing.
Yeah, we
You know?
are. Like,
you
kind of
like
just
being in the car.
kind of an old school, like just road tripping it, finding magnets everywhere we go. Put
I'm
in our refrigerator.
going to start looking for cruises for you though.
I do want to go on a cruise. There's
'cause-
I've always wanted to go on a cruise.
Yeah, it's a dream. You just
Yeah.
get on the boat and then you don't really have anything else to do.
Yeah.
Like you're just eating the food, watching the shows, hanging out with the people. You know,
Yeah.
you can take all your dollar dance money and go to the casino and double it or lose it all.
I would. You know what? I have very little experience betting.
Yeah.
However, the stretch of a month that I did do some sports betting, I did it on the DraftKings app. I think is what it was. Dude, I made $150 off of 25.
Yeah, I don't even know how they're in business.
And I quit. I said, I put $25 in. I said, all right, I'll do this. And you know what I did though is I would place the bets on a lot of Celtics games.
Yeah.
They were killing it. A lot of basketball games where I'm more comfortable. You know, I didn't place a bet that was risky.
Sure.
So I just kept winning. And then also DraftKings or whatever, maybe it was DraftBooks, whichever one. They kept giving me deals.
Yeah, like the promotions.
To place free bets.
Right.
So I just kept making money off of this $25. And then finally when I hit 150, I was like,
This is as good as it's going to get.
I was like, I'm never doing this again. I'm bowing out.
I'm out. I'm out. I'm going to take the money and run.
You got to know when to hold. Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's some wisdom in there. So the other question, are we going to go on a hiking trip this spring? We meant to do it last year and we didn't make it happen.
Well, I would really love to. Every
Okay.
time I go home, I drive through Turkey Run. Now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's my route now. And every time I think about Danville, I think about Mad Goat.
That's right.
I think about how all this got started, and I think about
the podcast episode on the road. That was so fun.
I think about Turkey Run.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would love to. I don't know if it'll be my spring break because I'm going to be in Nashville.
Oh.
We're going to see
Illinois or Tennessee?
Yeah, there is a Nashville, Illinois, Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to. This is a. I wouldn't say bucket list, but there's something I've always wanted to do, and I wanted to go to see a concert at the Ryman.
Oh, yeah.
So my landlord, my friend Jeremy, I say landlord, but he is my friend Jeremy. Yeah. For Christmas, he got us tickets.
Oh my goodness!
To go with them to go see Wilder Wood.
Okay.
At the Ryman, and if you don't know Wilder Wood, if you know Need to Breathe, their lead singer started his own like kind of solo. Music career.
Yeah.
And it's him. So
okay, very cool.
Yeah, and it's also guys from Need to Breathe as well. They're just kind of doing a more secular genre of music rather than Need to Breathe, which is a little bit of a mix of like faith, love,
sure.
stuff like that. But I'm really pumped.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean that'll be really cool. But your spring break's a whole week long. We could probably squeeze in.
That's true.
We could squeeze in a little camping trip. You know.
Yeah, something local.
No, I meant Turkey Run. Turkey Run is local.
Well, that is only
like
2 hours.
Yeah, 2.5, 3 hours. 5 if you incorporate when we stop in Danville.
Yeah, we can maybe see that.
Yeah.
Stop at the Beef House again.
Oh my goodness,
dude! I'm telling you, I still think about it.
The best thing was the roll. The rolls were the best.
Yeah,
I did like the buffet option.
I ended up. What did I got fish. I got.
I don't understand you.
I didn't.
We go
understand.
to the beef house. I'll take the fish.
I don't know. I never do that, and I really wanted the fried. Was it catfish? I don't know what it was.
I think it was.
Which is never what I go to, and I don't know what I was trying to do that day.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
I'm not sure, but I remember what it did to my stomach after that.
Woof.
So,
yikes. Yeah, so we got a lot to look forward to. 2025. and there'll be things that come up and pop up. I forgot, like, I need to be planning a hiking trip for the spring. That was like Emily's birthday present to me, was go on a hiking trip. Specifically, she wanted me to go to Isle Royale, but I don't think I'm going to do that.
Okay.
That's a big bite. That's a big trip. Big trip. And
big as far as travel or
all of it.
All of it.
It's a long ways away.
And it's hard.
It is difficult. It is difficult in the sense of there's not a lot of the margin for error is slim. It's a narrow margin of error. So with things that are difficult, like Grand Canyon, Grand Canyon's difficult, margin of error wide, because there's lots of resource, there's lots of help, there's lots of people. It's not remote.
Gotcha.
You basically have cell service all the way down. It is not a remote area.
Gotcha.
This is ultra remote.
Where's it at?
It is an island that's in between the United States and Canada.
Oh, wow.
And it's totally uninhabited. So it's a national park, and there's people that are obviously there off and on, but nobody, like, you can't live there. You can't buy a house, or whatever. I mean, there's rangers that live there from time to time, but there's not like a permanent residence.
Can you hunt there?
No.
Are there animals there?
Oh,
of
yeah.
course.
There's
bear.
There's moose and wolves.
Oh my gosh.
So
you're going to die, dude.
There's more moose than there are people at any given time.
You're dead.
Yeah. Everybody sees moose. Now, I saw a moose when I was in Colorado this year.
Really?
Yeah.
I would love to see a moose.
I saw 2 of them.
I would love to. My family used to live in Alaska.
Oh, okay.
I got to see them all the time. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, they're big animals. Big animals.
That's crazy, man. You wouldn't go by yourself, right?
No, I mean, I'd go with somebody else. But even still, like, your margin for error is very narrow, and there's not like there's not a great way to check back in with home, so you'd have to take like a GPS.
Dang, like a satellite phone?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude, this sounds like a horror movie.
Yeah, well, it's on my list of hikes to do. I want to do it.
Gosh, why don't you just go do Everest?
No,
might as well.
No, that Everest is hard and remote. This is just remote. So it's the terrain is not bad. It's just
okay. It's just no one's there.
Nobody's there.
So what would you do? Fly? I guess you would.
So you have to
private.
So we would go up north. Probably drive. We'd probably drive all the way up north to. You can get there from Wisconsin, or you can get there from Michigan. So either of those places, you can take a ferry to the island. It's like a 4-hour ferry ride to the island, or you can fly in on a prop plane.
Oh my gosh!
And so,
dude,
don't
do it.
But the thing, so I told Emily, like, one of the things that makes me worried about doing that trip now is that. It is minimum 24 hours. I could not get home in less than 24 hours. Like, couldn't do it. So not that I really need to get home within 24 hours, but like, I'm never in a situation where I can't get home in 24 hours.
I watched this movie called The Edge, and they take a little prop plane to this remote area, and then they end up dying. They end up getting eaten by bears.
Yeah.
One big bear.
Okay. I'm probably not going to get eaten by a bear. That would be pretty extreme.
It would be extreme. It does sound intriguing.
Yeah.
Like, I've never heard of this island.
Isle Royale. Check it out. It's a national park.
I will check it out.
So you have that going for you.
You go there.
Yeah, okay? People do it.
And people will be there.
People do that trip all the time. It's not like we would see other humans.
Oh, okay.
But it's not like other humans that you would get in.
It's not like
popular
Naked
hikes.
and Afraid.
No,
okay.
No, not that remote.
Okay,
but
that's good because you got me worried.
Yeah, it's pretty remote though. So, anyhow,
yeah. So you're not doing that.
Doing that this spring. I'll do something else though. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to go, what I'm going to do. But
take me with you, man. And here's the thing: I won't make it back. Did you hear me? Like you would literally be like helping me survive. Oh my gosh! I would just be like, I would die. I would find a tree and I would sit there and
die.
And I would try to call Kia and be like, "Honey, it's Garrett's fault.
You're not gonna die." Yeah. I'm not as worried about dying.
I thought I was going to die at Turkey Run.
Okay, yeah, but that was ridiculous then too. You're just dramatic. that's all it is. You're not.
I was like, my legs. I can't feel my legs.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
No, it was great. It was fun.
Well, I think that. Yeah, I did not realize how certain you were that you were going to die until later on. In the moment, you're like, I need to really rest. I'm like, that's fine, man. You take your time. It's all good. We'll be back in about 2 hours. We're going to go hike around.
I sat there for those 2 hours and I ate my Slim Jims, and I just said, well, if I go out, I'm going to go out eating my Slim Jims.
If I die, I die.
It's raining.
Oh, my
it's
goodness.
it's a beautiful. No, it was a wonderful trip.
It was a great trip. It was cold though and wet.
Was.
Those are not fun conditions to hike in.
Yeah, but pushing myself was the accomplishment, like the accomplishment aspect of it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I did this, and I didn't get prepared for that trip.
Yeah,
and to the regular person who maybe not even hikes, but they just are a little more active, that'd probably be nothing. But
yeah,
for me to not hike, I've not hiked anything in 20 years since I was a kid rolling around in the mountains of West Virginia. Like, that was incredible.
Yeah,
just that sense of accomplishment.
Well, and that first hill, like it's a steep hill. Yeah. It's not crazy easy, but it's
the rocks were the slick rocks.
Really got me,
because I'm like, how am I going to get back up these if I go down them?
Yeah, I understand that. There are some spaces in there that are kind of tough, but it's fun. It's a cool place.
And then I look back and I laugh still at, like, looking up at one point and you and Jacob are gone, and I look and you're on freaking ladders, and there's these ladders that are going up like waterfalls or something, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And you guys are like, come on, man, you can do it. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Maybe I can, but I'm not going to find out.
Yep. Probably could, not gonna.
I'm like, I'm going to walk back that way and we'll meet around.
Yep.
And we did. We circled it and we met up. So it was awesome.
Yeah, we came back. There you were, sitting on a bench. Like, just admiring the landscape, and you're like, I decided this would be a peaceful place to die. I'm like, what is wrong with you? You were not going to die.
I wasn't. No,
it's not going to happen. Anyway,
I am dramatic.
Unless you got struck by lightning in that moment.
Right.
I'm like,
right. Or eaten by something.
In Indiana, there's nothing that's going to eat you.
No, probably not.
Not probably. There isn't.
You never know, man.
Full stop.
You ever heard of the Wendigo?
Who's that?
I don't know. That's what
exactly.
I'm saying.
That's ridiculous. All right, so one of the things that, like, we try to do is we try to have a plan.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty common. Everybody, every year, they try to have a plan for their year. And
for sure,
you've got a pretty good roadmap of what your year is going to look like. And I don't know about you, but the way I look at it is there's like just these checkpoints, like we're working towards this checkpoint and then this checkpoint and then this checkpoint. And so, we try to do that with our podcast planning too, when we're on top of it, and this is a moment where we feel pretty on top of it.
I think
we've got a pretty good idea of what we want to talk about over the next few weeks together.
Yeah, man.
And so, one of those things is we like to talk about books.
We love it.
And so we want to do 3 weeks in one of my very favorite books, and I think it's one of the there are just a few books that I've read about faith that have really, it's like they just turn the lights right on. Like, it's man, I never thought about this. I didn't even ponder it. Like, and this was a major eye opener, and I can think about, like, man, this has shifted my thinking about faith. Thinking about who God is, what He has for me, all of these things. Like, it's changed that. And the first one for me was Crazy Love, and that was have you read that one?
Long time ago.
Yeah, that's right. It's an older one.
Yeah, I think it was my first Christian book I ever read.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And so that one was a major paradigm shift for me. But then the one that we're going to talk about though is Garden City. And I absolutely love that book. It is challenging, but it's also just really I think it's encouraging. And it's a really practical book for what it looks like to follow Jesus.
Yeah.
So
I'm reading it, and I'm in the process now, and what I've read so far has already started that shift, and I'm like, oh wow, never looked at work that way,
right,
right.
And I'm going to go back and give it another listen, but another one that goes really well with that is actually called God of the Garden. It's by Andrew Peterson. And
I have that book.
Okay, it's really good.
Oh, I need to read it then.
Yeah, they go hand in hand. God of the Garden is more like it's kind of like a meandering with Andrew Peterson through just like different ideas and thoughts. He kind of writes as if he was sitting down with you and just kind of having a chat.
I love him.
And so it's a different book, whereas Garden City, it's very like it's sermons. It feels like you're reading sermons.
Absolutely.
And it's really structured that way. But anyway, Garden City, we're going to spend a few weeks in that.
I'm doing Andrew Peterson's series, his saga, the Wing Feather.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to go through that this year.
Okay,
yeah, I'm super pumped about it.
Yeah, that's some good fiction books there.
It is.
So I've not read any of that.
They're kids, like they're kids stories, but I heard that they were just really good books. Like they're really good if you like that fantasy, thing. So
sure.
I'm gonna give them a try.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I need to try to read some more fiction this year too.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to read a book called it's not fiction. Sorry, it's nonfiction. Never mind.
What is it?
It's called Boys of Riverside.
Okay.
It got rated. I think it got rated 2024's best book. And
wow.
Oh well, I saw it on Amazon. It said it was the editor's pick top of 2024, and it's a true story about this whole football team that was deaf.
Okay.
So I'm pretty pumped to check it out.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So we're doing that, and then we're gonna do something a little bit different. We've never done something this big, like and this expansive. Usually, if we're going to talk about something, we talk about something for maybe a couple weeks in a row.
Yeah. I think 3 or 4 is all we've ever.
Yep. I don't know. Have we ever done 4?
Yeah, I think we did 4 with How to Pray.
Oh, okay.
Was that How to Pray?
Yep.
I think.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Because it was PRAY. Yep. We did all.
Correct, sir.
All 4 letters. Anyway, well, this time.
Oh, boy.
We're going with, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks.
8-week podcast series.
Yeah. And it's going to be.
True crime?
No. It is. There's going to be some cohesion there because we're really pulling from 2 different sources.
Yeah.
Practicing the Way by John Mark Comer, but then
book.
Also Spirit of the Disciplines by Dallas Willard. And there's probably going to be some other celebration of the disciplines in there.
Yeah.
I would imagine Invitation to a Journey is going to have some of these kind of key themes that roll into this. And there's going to be 8 different practices, disciplines that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
And
be good.
I'm excited about it. And we've talked about some of them before, but so we might have to put a different spin on it, or maybe that's where we invite somebody else in to share their thoughts. But those 8 ideas are fasting, Sabbath, solitude, silence, community and fellowship, prayer, study, and service. And so I'm really excited about that. That's something that are those are really practical ideas.
Yeah,
get our hands on. And then hopefully you can get your hands on that too.
Can't wait, man. That's going to be awesome.
If you're following along, that's only 11 weeks of content. I told you there's 17. So there's going to be some standalones in there. There's going to be some, don't worry.
Yeah.
We're going to be fun.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be good.
You're going to have a couple days in there where you don't know what to expect. But
yeah, we're going to throw something at you. It's going to hit you like a fastball.
Fastball.
That's right. You're not going to do with it, but you're going to swing, but you're going to miss it.
What? We want them to hit it. This ain't that kind of podcast.
That's right.
We want people to get it.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, and we've got some fun ideas in there. You guys are going to get to hear the Cody Dickerson saga of how he's gonna learn guitar.
Oh, yeah, man.
And you know, all of the other wonderful things.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to do some traveling and touring and play my songs on my guitar.
I was being serious. Cody called me last week and he's like, "Hey man, learn my first song on guitar."
Then you pooped on it.
And then I'm like, "Oh great, what song is it?" He goes, "A Horse with No Name." I'm like, "Isn't that just 2 chords?"
It was incredibly fascinating that you knew it was 2 chords. I'm like, come on. I wasn't going to tell you it was 2 chords.
What? You don't need to. Everybody knows that song.
I didn't know it.
Who knows guitar knows it's 2 chords. And it's a pretty simple strum pattern too. It's you know, you're not really looking at anything crazy.
But I learned it.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Oh gosh, just pretty much.
I'm still working on
it. Still working out the kinks. I don't know. I think that it's not a real first song until it's got 3 chords.
But I also learned "Smoke on the Water" by Deep Purple.
Just the one string. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, come on.
Boom, 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 boom.
Exactly, man.
Yeah. Well, that's that's a thing.
It
Glad
is.
you learned it.
You're welcome.
You know, after this, I'll teach you how to play Wipeout.
Wipeout.
That's pretty.
And Seven Nation Army.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, just the opening line.
Yeah. It's the riff. Is it the riff?
Yeah. So
you know, I'm getting there.
Yeah. He's coming up in the world. Watch out, everybody. I mean, you don't know Wonderwall yet. That's a problem. You can't be a real campfire acoustic guitar player.
You know what? I think when I was in high school, my friend taught me Wonderwall when I was actually like playing with the youth group and doing some, because it is simple chords, right? It's the G and the. I think he taught me Wonderwall, and I just don't really like Oasis. So.
Okay, well, I don't know that anybody likes Oasis. I
think people love them, really.
Oasis?
Noel Gallagher, right?
I don't know anything about Wonderwall off the top of my head.
No, yeah, I don't know. I think they're a pretty popular band. I don't know. People talk about them all the time. I don't like
Who
them.
is people who talks about Oasis all the time?
Like on social media, like you see it a lot.
Like, oh yeah, do you follow Oasis on Instagram? They're going to talk about Oasis a lot.
I don't. Yes, Oasis will talk about Oasis.
That's
a lot,
right. So
yeah, I don't love them.
Oh, jeez. All right, so we've got personal things we're excited about. We got some podcast things we're excited about.
Yeah.
We had to talk about this beforehand, but I'm going to just throw it at you, and we're going to see how it lands.
Oh boy.
All right. What is something you hope God teaches you, either specifically within this first trimester of the year?
Yeah.
Like, so if you think about the year in 3 parts, there's spring, summer, and fall. We're in spring right now.
Yeah.
Even though there's 10 inches of snow outside.
Yeah.
But if you break it into those 3 parts, and that's a pretty natural flow of, especially working in a school, working with youth group, that's how things tend to go, is in trimesters. And so, what do you hope that God teaches you this trimester?
Trust.
Yeah.
I think I have a natural fear of failure that I've dealt with a lot, and it's not as prevalent now as it used to be. As far as I fear failure, I fear failing myself. Like I fear myself failing something, because I think I've just kind of come to this place where I know my Father loves me. I know who He's created me to be. There's some lies that pop in my head, and I have to fight that, and I have to take that thought captive. And but I think I have to learn to trust God in small, unknown situations. And I use that. I used the example this week where some stuff happened with college, and it happened really quick, and it was a really small issue, but it could have had big ramifications on delaying the year, putting me back a whole year and a half of graduating. Like it had the potential.
Yeah.
So my mind went to that outcome immediately. And I really had a tough time with it just one evening.
Okay.
And I really had a hard time with trusting that it's going to be all right. Like,
Yeah.
God's got this. God's going to work it out. And even the aspect of like, all right, I don't know what my year is going to look like. I don't know where am I going to end up working? Where are we going to end up living once we get married? Like what things like that.
Sure.
I'm having a really hard time trusting God with the unknowns, the little small unknowns that I can't control.
Yeah.
And that I can't mark off my checklist.
Yeah.
And I can't say that I've done this and I've checked this off. I'm having a hard time relinquishing that control and just letting God be God and letting him figure it out, because I just know that he's going to take care of me. I know he's going to take care of us. I know he's going to he's going to be God in those situations. And whatever happens is what's going to be good and what's going to be God. And I need to take my hand off of it and just let him handle that unknown, because I don't know.
Yeah.
So
you just trust.
Sorry.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Went on a soliloquy of
Hey, that's great.
of that. But that's the trust aspect, like that, that aspect of it. So,
Yeah.
the unknowns.
I love that. I think for me, it's probably more, I want God to teach me to delight in his presence and what he's like, what he's put in front of me. Does that make sense? Instead of trying to rush on to the next thing, or to improve upon it, or to analyze what is happening here, but really just to take joy in what the Lord's doing and what he's put before me.
Wow.
I think that and that comes through in a lot of different ways. I mean, my default mode just in life is to think about how do we better whatever it is that we're in. And that's really helpful, in a lot of ways.
Right.
But in this way particularly, it causes me to maybe miss what God is trying to teach me, or trying to just show me, and trying to reveal to me and offer me that peace and just the joy of being present with him. I'm missing that because I'm thinking about, what is next? How do I make this better? How do how do I leverage or capitalize on whatever this feeling is for something or someone else, and rather than just delighting in what he's put before me. And I think that
some of that too.
I think the other piece of that comes with that is then I start avoiding things that are good for me, because I have made them into these things where I have to do them so that I can, take them further. Does that make sense? I'm gonna if I'm gonna read Scripture, I'm reading Scripture with a purpose of understanding it so I can teach it to someone else.
Yeah.
And it's really hard for me to turn my brain off to that.
Wow.
And not just be thinking how do I take this and then deliver this to somebody else? If I'm sitting there and reading Scripture on my own, even if it's not part of a series we're doing or whatever, it doesn't matter. There's that thing that hits my brain where I'm like, oh man, this is how I would teach this, rather than, hey, this is what God is teaching you. Slow down enough to catch that. And that's not to say everything, anything I teach ever out of Scripture is something that first I needed to hear.
Yeah.
So that is true. But I just need to slow down and just enjoy those moments, rather than thinking about how do I make this better or perfect this, or the next time that I'm here, really
finding
being present.
finding the contentment in that moment.
Yep. So
That's good, man.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing, and just and again, just delighting in being present with the Lord.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
And just, I think that'd be great.
Yeah,
Really good.
I've really wanted to be I've wanted to look at something that was more intentional. I've wanted to look towards more intentionality of being with God and that communion aspect of just being present with him and him being present with me and that, that relationship aspect of, hey, I don't have to check off a devotional.
Yeah.
I don't have to check off something that I'm doing for this moment. Just the intentionality of communion with him, or, what that looks like. So
Yeah.
for sure.
I got one more thought, and this is totally free. It's just something that, I want to invite you to challenge yourself to do this as well, because I want to know if this is real and true. So I was listening to a podcast the other day, and he was talking about how the indecision fatigue, not just decision fatigue, but indecision fatigue is a real problem.
For sure.
And he talks about how oftentimes in leadership or just in life that we push off decisions that should be made in the moment, and they snowball and they become a bigger problem. And so and then ultimately the monster under the bed gets bigger and bigger and bigger, not because the monster actually has gotten bigger, but because you've built it up, because you've thought about it, and you've spent so much mental energy instead of just thinking about it and deciding on it, on Monday, you're thinking about it on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. And then finally on Friday, when you're ready to make a decision, like you have to make a decision on the monster that's under the bed.
Yeah.
It's grown only because in your mind you've thought about it and it's gotten bigger,
Wow.
So trying to make decisions faster, especially reversible decisions, like trying to decide that we're going to do this pretty early in the process, instead of feeling like you have to have all the information. If you can undo a decision, make that decision early rather than spending a lot of time thinking and deliberating and pondering it and just trying to get the decision done now.
That's tough.
Instead of thinking about it and,
Yeah.
So
that's tough.
It is. But it's I'm trying to take stock of how much time I spend deciding to decide.
Man.
And that's just, and it's a lot of time. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of energy. And then when you think about that, when you think about all that time that you're spending trying to make good decisions, and just really not even weighing the options or doing research on the options, just worrying about it. Then you feel guilty about all the time and energy you've spent worrying about this decision when you could have just made a decision that ultimately you can probably change later on.
Wow.
So, I mean, I just think about it with buying something. It's like, I need new shoes. I'm going to over-research the shoes. I could really use these shoes, next week, but instead, because I've spent so much time on it, I miss it, and then I have to panic buy something because I needed the new. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so, and shoes are a pretty simple example of that. But I guess one of the things I'm challenging myself to do is just make decisions faster.
Yeah.
And then, give myself.
Man, I've never thought about that.
More time and energy.
Yeah, I do that. I research the crap out of decisions and stuff. That's insane.
Yeah, it was Carey Nieuwhof, and he was talking about a study where it said that you can could and should make reversible decisions with 40% of the information. You probably have a good enough sense of what you should decide to do with 40% of the information you really would need to make the best decision, but you can operate on 40%.
That's crazy.
And if you think about it though too, it's there's a lot of things that I'm met with a problem.
Yeah.
I come up with a couple different options.
Yeah.
My gut tells me this. Well, then I over-research it for a few weeks, then I come back to ultimately deciding what I knew was right at the beginning.
That's crazy.
And so
I've never thought about that. Ever. I have never once cognitively thought of how much I'm not deciding. How much time I'm not deciding.
And then how that just compounds just
Yeah, because that's
then
for sure.
All of a sudden, you got 40 things you got to decide
Yeah.
on a Tuesday, where you've got something on Tuesday night anyway, and you can't decide all the things, and you're exhausted and all these. It would have been better if you just decided in the moment, this is what we're going to do.
That's insane.
So
that's insane.
yeah, it's a cool concept, cool idea.
It is, yeah.
And yeah, I want you to, you try it too. And if you're like, man, I've made decisions faster, and I've got all this crap to undo. This was not a good move. Then we've challenged the idea, and we know that that's not the right way to do it.
That is interesting.
So, deciding to decide faster.
Yeah.
Now irreversible decisions maybe take a little bit, take time on.
Pray about those.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad to not pray about some things, but you know, I love the whole, let me pray about it.
Well, and there's things too. It's like, with how much time do people spend more time deciding what to watch than they do actually watching.
That's for sure. That's complete oversaturation of things to watch.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like,
yep.
I have all these streaming platforms, and then most of the time I'm deciding, and then I'm just like, whatever, I'm gonna go play Call of Duty.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, dude. Here's what I'm looking forward to in 2025. Here's another thing. I'm on a journey. Okay, now it's not going to all be done by 2025. Okay,
all right.
But I really want to do this. All right.
Okay.
I'm in this mode right now.
Okay.
I really want to build this. I really want to put together this center. Okay.
Okay.
In my house.
Okay.
Maybe not here. Maybe it'll be in the house that me and Kia live in when we're married. I don't know yet.
Okay.
But I want to build this entertainment center.
Okay.
Of nothing but retro video games.
Oh yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah. Really want to do it. I found this website that has every retro video game console that
I've got a Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I have a 64.
I don't know where my Super Nintendo is, but I have one.
Yeah. I have a Nintendo 64, so I've already started it.
Yeah.
And it would be so cool to have just the Sega Genesis, the Nintendo 64, the Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
And they're relatively cheap.
Oh yeah. They really are.
And this guy's he's all over TikTok, and they refurbish them, they keep it, they take care of them.
Yeah.
And they ship them out. And dude, I really want to do it.
Yeah.
I really want to I want to have this thing where it's like this preserved moment in time. Like, oh, you want to go back to 1992? All right, we got it.
Yeah. My favorite Super Nintendo game was NHL 94.
NHL 94.
Yeah. Such a good game. Such a good game.
My favorite Super Nintendo game was probably Donkey Kong Country.
Oh yeah, Donkey Kong's fun.
I think that was Super Nintendo.
Donkey
Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Country was on Super Nintendo, but so was they had a Diddy Kong game. We had that one.
Yeah.
We didn't have Donkey Kong.
Was it the racing? Diddy Kong Racing?
You could race, but there were a couple levels that were racing, but for the most part it was just Diddy Kong.
Man, that's way
Super
throwback.
Mario Brothers, so good.
Yeah. Anyway, so I know that was kind of irrelevant, but
no, that's awesome.
Hey man, that's my goal. I really want to do it.
I want you to do that.
I know you do.
I think it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's my
Good
New
luck
Year's
wiring
resolution.
it all up though. That's the real challenge.
See,
you got to go from AV to HDMI somehow.
So, well, there is a converter, and so I just bought a converter, $10. I just bought a converter, but I've already tried one on my Nintendo 64, and it didn't work. But they're hit or miss, right? So it's just kind of like a game of Russian roulette, where one's going to be a hit.
Russian roulette.
Probably
you just said roulette.
Probably a bad.
Not Russian roulette. One of them are gonna hit.
Had to be dark.
Oh my gosh.
But what I really want to do now, here's what I really want to do, and I do have a big TV over here that I'm not using right now.
I'm looking at it,
but I think ultimately what I want to do is I want to get the old TV. Like, I want to have the actual old experience, but that's very hard to find. I mean, they're not hard to find, but one that's working in good order is hard to find. Like Facebook Marketplace, man, you can tell, like, some of these are not going to be a good $50 to spend.
No.
So Yeah. So I don't know, man. That is going to be the challenge, is wiring everything up, and doing that. So that, pray for me. God's got me. I need to trust God in the unknown.
Oh man. All right. Well,
yeah,
this was great.
You're great.
I'm looking forward to the year. It's going to be a good year.
It's going to be a good year, man. It's going to be a good year for the podcast. It's going to be a good year for our listeners, for us individually.
That's right.
For us together. Our friendship is going to grow.
Blossom.
Our brotherhood is just going to continue to we're going to
thrive.
We're going to thrive, man.
It's going to be great.
We're going to just be the best duo of friends ever.
I haven't been this excited about a new year since 2020.
Yeah? When you met me?
No, I'm saying that like there's a lot of hype around 2020.
Oh, you didn't meet me.
Dawn of a new decade, I did. Bam, COVID. Month and a half in.
Well, someone's already died from bird flu, so it may be coming again. But
I doubt that.
I remember all of the like super spiritual number, like biblical, the biblical number people who throw numbers out like, oh, this was in the Bible. This is super spiritual. This is what this means. This is what 2020 year means. The 2020 year is perfect vision, and we're going to perish if we don't have vision. And 2020 is that year. And then I remember it just being squashed within a month.
Yep. So, if 2020 has taught us anything, it's to hold our plans loosely. But
hold on loosely.
We are excited about though what we believe God's going to be doing through this podcast.
Yeah.
And we have a plan, we have a direction that we want to go.
Yeah.
We're excited for you guys to be along with us on this journey. And so, I would say if you're looking for books, like if they're looking for books that they want to pick up so they can follow along with us, Garden City, you got some time. We're not talking about that one for a few weeks.
Yep.
You can definitely get through it, especially like if you're an audiobook person. It's a really great listen.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the Practicing the Way.
Yeah.
And that's John Mark Comer as well. Yep. And then Spirit of the Disciplines.
Yeah, Dallas Willard.
That's Dallas Willard. And we are going to talk about some books the next couple weeks as well. But
yeah,
it's going to be good.
It's going to be good, man.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be good. It's going to be great.
It's going to be fantastic. Oh, so far this year, we're 12 days in, read 2 books.
Really?
Finished 2 books.
That's
now,
awesome.
One of them I started last year, but the other one I did last night. So
that's awesome. I started the Consider the Lilies. Johnny Artavanis.
Okay.
He's a Chicago boy.
Sure.
And it's been a very good book. It's about trusting God, and it's actually about looking to the character of God to find your peace, and knowing that in who God is, He's going to take care of us.
Sure.
And He has our best interests at heart. So when we push towards the character of God, that's where we find that peace, and that's where we kind of lose that anxiety instead of doing all the task lists and stuff like that, just learning who God is in our lives. Anyway, so it's a pretty good book. I'm getting ready to finish it. I'm on the last chapter. Very good book to listen to. I'm listening to it.
Okay, so that's what I was about to do. I'm looking it up right now.
What is it?
6 hours.
Yeah, 6 hours
and 36 minutes.
Easy listen. Listen.
All right.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I am going to. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it right now.
Buy it. What is it? $11?
Well, I meant I used a credit, but
gotcha.
Audible, baby. So
Audible. That's what I'm using.
Yeah, I will. I will check that out.
Yeah, if you guys got book recommendations for us,
you can send them our way. But we got a plan now.
We do have a plan. Listen, we do have a plan.
It may not be something we do until
fall. I meant just listening.
Oh, okay.
Or reading.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, we got our books for the podcast.
That's right. So if you want to be a part of the podcast book club, the Lilies, Consider the Lilies, and I want to listen to the new version of God Has a Name.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did that at the end of last year. It was good.
You did? Yeah.
Well, I didn't know it was an old book.
Yeah.
I went into it thinking it was just released, and he re-released it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good by John Mark Comer.
Yeah.
Very good. Me and Kia are going to be doing Mere Christianity together.
Ooh. Yeah. I want to do want to listen to Loveology as well.
Yeah.
I'm I'm pretty close to like having all of the Comer books, read and listened to.
He hasn't missed so far with what I've read from him.
Good stuff.
Not a miss.
Anyway, well, hey, tell the people what they want to hear.
Hey, just so you know, God loved us first. God loves us best. And God loves us most.
This
is the Bad Apples Podcast.
Yeah.
Peace be still.